First of all, congratulations on this project. It is so awesome to watch. It's such a different story than stuff we're seeing nowadays. First of all, why was this project so important to you guys?
Hmm.
Oh man, we've been dreaming about making a medieval fantasy since we were kids. So Jeremy and I, we have footage of us swinging swords since we're in like grade five. So this is a movie that we've been playing around with for years, and then finally we just found somebody who would give us a chance to make it. So, uh, yeah.
Hmm.
What was it like to embody a knight, first of all, for you?
Oh, that was, yeah, like Matt said, like it was a dream come true. I mean, like every kid wants to be like, he's fighting off monsters in his
Mhm.
backyard with a stick. And then this just felt like here I am this much later in life. I'm, 36 years old, and I feel like I'm living out this dream that I had as a child. Only this time it's a real sword. I'm in 100 pounds of real armor.
Mhm.
And then, we're going across, Canada, making this film. And yeah, just such a surreal experience. Like, I mean, there are just some moments at the end of the day you're just looking back and you're like, this is as good as it gets. Like it is so enjoyable.
For the fight scenes with the sword, did you guys have to go through some special training? Did you guys learn how to actually use the broadsword?
Yeah, actually, we so with movie making, there's actual practical
Mhm.
there's real sword fighting, which we did a little into that. But then when it comes to doing out a movie, you want stuff that actually just looks cool, and so then you lose the practicality. So you'll watch people who critique sword fights online and be like, oh, you wouldn't do that in a real situation, but it doesn't translate to film if you do like authentic sword fighting. So you kind of got to dabble
You
between the
guys strike a
two.
balance. I think you guys started rehearsing 6 months before we started filming. So Kristen and Jeremy spent a lot of time in studio getting down the choreography and working through the movements. And then getting on set was probably the hardest thing because we found out the choreography that they had worked on does not work the same when they're wearing armor. And so they're just movements that they couldn't do. Like Jeremy couldn't lift his arm past here. So all the movements that were the overhand swipe, he couldn't do anymore. And so they really had to adapt on the fly, but they put a lot of work into getting ready for it, doing the choreography, and then, yeah, and then doing it with the armor was just crazy.
Mhm.
Kristen, what was your experience with the armor and the choreography that you had to go through?
Yeah, I mean, the first time putting on the armor, I think was just for a photo shoot for a couple of hours, and I was like, I could not wait to get it off, and I was just thinking about how in the world am I going to wear this for 40 days for like 13 hours a day, in the freezing cold, but somehow we did it, and
Mhm.
I think like the sword fighting was and so the choreography and the training for that was pretty crucial, just because it is heavy. The sword is heavy, and the when you have the armor on all together, like it is a pretty intense physical load on your body. And I wanted to make sure that the moves and the choreography would come across as like authentic in the film, when we started shooting. So I definitely prioritized that in that training.
Awesome. And for you specifically, your character is so complex. So in a lot of senses, it seems like she's very overwhelmed with a lot of stuff. What was, the conversations with your director in order to get the performance that he wanted from you?
What were those conversations like, Matt?
I would love to hear from your point of view.
It's good because I think, when you read the script as an actor and you have a certain way in your head that you might want to play it, or a way, the storyline you think it's going, and then, you get on set, or we did a lot of rehearsals ahead of time, and Matt would throw out suggestions and be like, well, have you thought about this and like this part of her character, or this, part of the story, and then I would, like you said, like her character is so complex, and she has so much going on in her head. So I think the main thing was, she's so determined. She has like such a tenacity about her that I think I really wanted to try and like make clear that she was going to do whatever it took to kind of get to where she wanted to go.
And for the night, you kind of have to go through this journey where there's a lot of twists and turns that are very unexpected, I believe, in the story. Were you able to shoot this in order so you get the evolution of the character, or was it shot out of order? And how were you able to, you know, complete that arc?
I don't know. Yeah, this was not shot in order at all. It was shot on what set was ready to go and what location
Hmm.
was not wet from paint. We really had to fight the elements. I know a couple of the sets got completely like flooded out, and so we had to move things out of order so many times. How the actors kept it together, I have no idea, but we took lots of good notes.
Yeah.
And the location is very, for a lot of this is very beautiful. What was it like to shoot in locations like this?
We spent a lot of time hunting down the locations to like kind of build this world out. So the sets we built all the castles, but for the exteriors we went out to Alberta for the lake fight scene, and so that's on a crazy frozen lake. It's very cold, -20, and then there's a wind that just rips right through it, and so there's this like the whole team, like anyone who had facial hair, like just covered in ice, and it was intense, very intense filming on those locations. So
What are you guys hoping to that the audience reaction will be once they get to watch this film?
Yeah, we're trying to take them on a journey with this, right? We did a lot of world building with it, so we had some complex characters going on there. Like there's quite clearly like a good versus evil,
Mhm.
and then and man's playing his position and all of that. So I don't know. I hope that we take them on a fun journey, but then it also makes them think, right? Like and especially mindful of where Avalon's all come from. I hope
Mhm.
that they, just people can see that because you might think she's just a terrible person right off the bat, but when
Mhm.
you get to the end of the movie, you realize what she's been through. It's just like it's quite the journey for her.
Mhm.
Would you like to add anything, Kristen?
Yeah, just, kind of, I hope they get drawn into this world and like have as much fun watching the movie as we had making it. And I think our all three of us, our hope is that they, want more. They want to see more. They want to see where this journey goes. And, we kind of wrapped the movie as, it could be finished there, but,
Mhm.
Matt and Jeremy have already written, the next two sequels. So it would be a privilege and an honor to be able to film another movie, and just hoping the audience enjoys it as much as we did.
Definitely. Well, thank you all very much. This was such a fun watch, and thank you very much for your time.
thank you.
Thank you.